Okay. Well, I'll get started here. Abby, we are so thrilled to chat with you. We just finished up our book club just for the summer. I feel like everyone's picking this for their book club just for the summer. And I have to tell you, the consensus is this might be your best book yet. Have you heard this?
Yay. Yeah, it is I can tell you it is my highest rated book right now.
This is
That's
great.
amazing. Okay. So, I mean, when you're writing it and then it starts to get all of these accolades, like number one, highest of all, it gets picked for the Twin Cities Live Book Club pick. Good Morning America also chooses it too. They're kind of a big deal, whatever. But as it just starts going and going and going, how are you feeling in those moments? Because writing is such an isolated process. I mean, you're not like hanging out with people writing, you're writing it, and then it goes out into the world and it's like it's got its life of its own.
Yeah, it feels a lot like watching a really good TV show that you're super into for like a year and nobody else has seen it. So it's actually really fun once it's out into the universe because then I can talk to people about it, and all the little Easter eggs that I planted, people find and they're so excited, and it's like I finally have people I can discuss the book with, which is amazing. But I did not expect it to do as well as it did. It has just been absolutely surreal. I have an author bingo card. And this book has checked off every single thing on that bingo card except for one, which is for it to get made into a movie, which takes, more time than it's been out. But I saw somebody out in the wild carrying the book. The book was a #1 New York Times bestseller. It was multiple weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. So it's been on the list now for 13 weeks, which is just incredible. It's amazing.
Well, and I have the list here because I had to take notes this morning. I was looking at all the accolades that this book itself has received. #6 on Forbes Best Books of 2024. That was just announced. When you saw that, that had to be like a pinch me moment to be on that list.
Yes. And what's even wilder about it is that that's based on sales, which means that it is the #6 best-selling paperback in the nation for 2024, which is just unreal. And also, just a little side note, but every single author on that list, right up to me, are all women authors, which is another really fantastic thing to acknowledge.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're having a year. It's great.
So it's going, of course, all over. Everyone across the nation is loving it, but Minnesotans have to be loving it more than anybody else because the way that you describe Minnesota and the way that Minnesota calls us home, and it's clearly written by someone who gets Minnesota, which is you. Although we think that going from Lake Minnetonka to Stillwater for a date is a bit of a stretch for anybody who lives there. Those folks on the west side are not going to drive all the way to Stillwater, but I like you encouraging people to do this, Abby, in the book.
Across the river.
But so tell us about like the response from people maybe who are from Minnesota who love it, and then the response from people who are like, oh my gosh, maybe I need to go to this flyover state.
We actually have people doing the Minnesota pilgrimage now. So my readers from out of the state come to Minnesota, and they have all of these points that they hit now because of this book. So they'll go to Nadia Cakes, and then they'll get a signed copy of the book there, or they'll go to Nadia Cakes, get cupcakes, and then they'll go to Majors and Quinn, which is my home store where I always leave signed copies. They'll try to hit up Hot Plate. They go to Chimborazo because it's mentioned in the book. They go to all the places that Justin and Emma go, and it's really cool to see. But yeah, the book is definitely a love story, not just about Justin and Emma, but also a love story to Minnesota.
I love this. Okay, you mentioned Nadia Cakes. Your readers, I believe a lot of them know a little bit of your backstory with Nadia Cakes, but for those who don't know, this all started with a Michael's cupcake class or a cake decorating class, and then the stores came, but the writing was intertwined. How did all of this come to be for you?
Yeah, so back in 2007, I lost my job. I was pregnant with my third baby in 3 years, and I took a Wilton cupcake decorating or cake decorating class at Michael's, and ended up using that little like 3-month course to start a cake business out of my house. And I opened up my first inline bakery in 2009 in California, which I still have that location. And then in 2011, we moved to Minnesota. We wanted to live somewhere where there were seasons. We wanted somewhere that had a really great school district, and we just fell in love with Minnesota. So we packed up everything and moved here in the winter. We didn't know anyone. We had no friends, no family here, nothing, and put down roots and bought our house. And we've been there ever since. We opened up a location in Woodbury and one in Maple Grove. And I shamelessly write Nadia cakes in every single one of my books.
I love it.
I really like supporting small businesses in general. So in all of my books, I always try and insert small businesses or animal rescues. I mention Midwestern Animal Rescue in my next book that's coming out, and Bitty Kitty Brigade was mentioned in this one. So I like to mention real places. So Nadia Cakes, of course, gets a shameless plug because why not? But we always do a cupcake for every single one of my books. And right now we have a cupcake called the Forehead Kiss. And if you've read the book, you understand the reference, but it's got a sherbet frosting. It's a coconut orange pineapple cake. It's delicious. And it's available now at all Nadia Cakes locations until the end of the summer.
Okay, Kelly, I mean, can you stop on your way into the
Yeah.
station?
I'm going to go to the Woodbury location. I'm like 5 minutes from it. I will bring us a cupcake for the show today.
That is so much fun. You know, Abby, what we talked about a lot in our book club conversation was the characters and the relationships. We always like to talk about the relationships that we like the best. And I said this on Facebook Live, and I want to say it to you too. I actually found Justin and Emma's love story to be, now I loved their story, but to be the least interesting of the relationships in the book. Like I loved the Emma and Amber. I loved Emma and Maddie. I loved Justin and his friends. We loved Justin's mom and her best friend, Lee. And so Justin and Emma to me was like, it was the thread that, you know, we told the story, but those other relationships were so well done and so well developed. And I hope you take that as a compliment, because that's certainly how I'm meaning it.
Oh yeah, my side characters are always very fleshed out. They feel like real people to me, which is why I think they feel like real people to everyone else. But even though I never write the full story for these side characters down for anyone else, I know who they are. I know who they are inside and out. I know everything about them, and I write them with that in mind. And I think, again, that's why they feel so real. But yeah, no, that's a huge compliment, because they don't feel one-dimensional. They feel like actual real people, which to me they are.
They are. It leaves you wanting more, which I love, but also at the same time not feeling like you got cheated out of like, wait, I need it, you know, I needed a little bit more, which is a really fine line to walk, but you really do it beautifully. We so enjoyed the book. We had so much fun reading. I read it in one day, Abby. I stayed up late. I normally have a 9 o'clock bedtime, and it was 12:47 when I put this down. So it was a real deal.
It's so good. And I just have to ask, you know, you do from what I understand, you have like a 1 book a year rule. Now, I know you're working on something else, because I did see your Instagram post this morning about the convertible that you saw, that is in your next book. So there's something else in the works. Do you have anything you can tell us?
Actually, sure. I can tell you that I am doing another short story for Amazon, which will be an Amazon exclusive. It'll be available in audiobook and ebook, and that's going to come out on Valentine's Day of next year. So we actually do get a little bonus story from me. And then, of course, I have my next book, which is the 7th in my series. It's called Say You'll Remember Me. Comes out April 1st of next year. Pre-order links are going to be up very soon. A cover reveal is going to be up very soon. And the car that you mentioned, I wrote my own car that I drove when I was 16 to 18 years old. I drove a 1966 Dodge Dart convertible, and I wrote that car into that book. And then I saw that actual car in that color here in Michigan, where I am right now, supporting my daughter while she's at camp, which was just unreal. But yeah, that book comes out next year. It is so good. We get a little cameo of the main character in that book, Samantha. We get a little cameo of her in Just for the Summer. She runs really quickly through Hot Plate to go pick up her mother, who Emma and Justin find sitting on a bus bench. It's a book about a woman who's caring for her mother with early onset dementia.
Wow. Oh God, I could cry thinking about this book. Oh, I can't wait. I read all of your books. I read your Amazon Prime short, and I cannot wait to read your next book.
It is
great.
I can't wait to get that cupcake. We're going to get it. And everybody in Minnesota, this is why you're the lucky ones, because some people have to travel here to do the Just for the Summer pilgrimage. You all live. How lucky are we?
Yeah. Abby, you're so wonderful. Thank you so much. And next time you're in town, like for a long period of time, I know you're traveling a lot. Next time you're home, please come visit us.
Yes, I definitely will.
Okay.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you. Her.